good morning. We are going to be training in a slightly different spot this morning because it is raining. You can see the weather behind me, but I hope that I am fully visible. Yes, okay, good. Just checking my reflection in the mirror as we try to stay out of the rain and we get into the workout. It is 5:45 a.m. and we're about to get started. For those of you who are watching, my name's Toby. I am 41 years old and I train to live an active, self-sufficient and adventurous life. I do so by minding my sleep. I try to get between 7 and 9 hours in a night. I do so by minding what I eat. I try to eat within my energy balance, which is around 2,200 calories on a regular day. I try to eat lots of greens, lots of vegetables, lots of whole foods. Try to make sure that I am healthy, eating healthy and well, lots of fibers, lots of different nutrients, and in general, I'm trying to eat in a way that provides me with the energy I need to do the things that I want to do throughout the day. I also eat towards my protein goals. I try to eat 60 to 80 grams of protein on a regular day and between 80 and 100 grams of protein on a day like today where I'm also working with kettlebells. Besides that, I try to spend time with people I love and care about, do things that I enjoy, and I work out with kettlebells or mobility or endurance training on other days throughout the week. So if you're interested in any of that, interested in staying fit and healthy through your 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, you go ahead, check out my channel, and maybe hit like and subscribe when you drop by to watch. This morning we're going to work with the kettlebells. We're going to do kettlebells for beginners. We're going to work up to some swings, and we're going to just have a good time, all right? And we're going to do that by warming up, and we're going to warm up nice and easily every minute on minute, starting with just some lifts. All right, and the first lift we're going to do with the kettlebell, obviously, is a deadlift. I'm just going to lift the weight up 5 times. Just get a feel for where my body is this morning. And it seems we're doing quite all right in terms of movement. I know it's a bit of an awkward spot. At least maybe you don't see it that way, but I see it that way. Crammed into the porch, so to speak, of the hotel, trying to make sure that we have a good angle for the workout, and at the same time are not stuck in the rain. So hey, here we are. All right, another set of deadlifts. I'm just taking it nice and easy. We're going to do a bit more intense stuff in a moment anyway. But the basis for the swing is that deadlift, right? And what I mean by that is that the movement for the swing, the hip hinge and the follow through is the same kind of pattern. Just with the swing, we don't set the weight down, it stays in motion, and we use the force generated from this motion to actually keep the deadlift, the kettlebell, in motion. And we're going to pair this with another exercise in a moment. I'm going to lift 4, 5. I'm going to pair this with a regular old plank. And there's some rain falling here where I'm working out right now. Let's hope I don't get soaked this morning. Just 10, 15 seconds. Hold that plank and get out of it. And you'll see why when we start to do the swing. Okay. 3 more sets. There's the kettlebell. And just ease into a plank position. And if this is too hard, you can go down and just hold for 10 seconds. Nothing crazy. Just work. Make sure your core is working, firing. That you're able to create that position. Two, 3, 4, 5, and the last plank. You can just do for a few seconds here. Keep breathing. It's one of the most important parts in training. And you can hear maybe the rain intensifying. Whew. Here we are, stepping out of the rain. All right, I'm going to move over to 10 straightforward kettlebell swings. Up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. And we set it down calmly and within control. No issues whatsoever. The only issue is that I would like to be out of the rain. I'm going to move even closer to the camera. It's like right on the border of where the rain's falling. So you get a good view of the workout this morning. What can I say? Maybe the camera's not going to capture everything. Let's see. Swing 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so do you notice the deadlift pattern that we're doing? And then at the top, basically it's a plank. We're making sure everything's firing from calves to our quads, pulling up those kneecaps, using the glutes, tucking the tailbone under, core, ribcage down, plank, and back to the deadlift. Right? Easy peasy. Keep things simple, straightforward. Let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And just very simple. On Wednesday we're going to continue with the foundational strength two-handed exercises for kettlebell. But here we're just going to focus on swings and some variations of swings in a moment, and bring out the 8 kilo for one-handed swings. We're also going to do swing cleans because we want to keep getting better at those so that we can move into the clean and press. Okay, more swings. Find your balance, proper position, neutral spine. Feel this in your quads and in your hamstrings. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If anything starts to hurt when you're doing kettlebell swings, stop. Find a good trainer. Learn the proper technique. Understand what needs to be remedied. It could be core stability, core strength. It could be the motion. It could be legs. It could be something in your back. And always start light. There's no harm in training with light weights for health and fitness. The purpose is training, not training heavy. That's a different program. And 10. And there we are. And we simply trying to get to 100 swings this morning. And we're doing quite well. We're well on our way to get there. Okay? And we're having fun while we're doing it. Learning something new. Oh boy, it's really raining today. Let's hope the rain goes away later on in the day. And you see, with a proper thrust on a kettlebell swing, there's no pulling with the arms. The momentum and force generated by this magical machine that is our body transfers into the weight being propelled forward and up. And we simply have to hold the weight in place, not even gripping it hard. Six, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it flies almost by itself. 3 more sets to go. Then we're going to do some variations after we do some rows. The reason I'm also taking it a bit easy is because we've been hiking for 3 days. I need to give my legs a chance to recover. Give my body a chance to recover so that we can continue having fun on the hikes in the mountains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rain or shine, we're just showing up and doing the work, friends. Very simple. It's like the rain doesn't want me to do my kettlebell workout. Let's see. Now we're getting to the heavy shower. Oh, okay. Hardcore. I have to change the angle slightly here, right on the camera. Okay. Eight, 9, 10. Look at that. That's rather up close and personal. And you still see my feet? Not sure you can see the feet or the kettlebell, but you can probably hear the rain. Okay, we're going to switch over to some rows. Okay. Because we want to make sure we get that full body workout in. And I'm doing single-handed rows. If you are still working on your baseline, you can do double-handed, not an issue at all. Okay. We start with the weights that work for us, and we work through that towards different goals. Such a shame we don't have the entire beautiful view. We are literally in a cloud, working out in a cloud. Isn't that nice? If you ever wondered how you get all the mountain streams here, and this is the answer, right? Let's see if there are any messages on the video. There are. Mad Mouse saying your feet balance stance when rowing. Flat foot stance or your favorite heel? Flat-footed. Matt Mouse, thanks for dropping by saying hi. I appreciate you actually dropping by and asking a question. It's a bit hard to show because I can't stand out in the rain, but it's a shoulder width stand. Let me stand out in the rain for you for 2 seconds. Shoulder width stand. You always try to grab the floor with your toes when you're using kettlebells. Always keep your heel to the ground. It's a flat, balanced stance. Don't roll up on your toes. Definitely don't roll back on your heels. And you're basically getting into this starting position for the deadlift, right? Only this time you're grabbing the kettlebell. You put it right between your toes, the handle, right between your feet. You still feel it in your hamstrings, in your glutes. You feel your back, neutral spine. And you simply pick it up. And only the act of using those big back muscles already lifts the weight off the ground. And you're going to feel this in the entire chain in your body if you do it with two hands or with one hand. Yeah, make sure those feet stay on the ground and that you are in balance. Don't let the weight pull you forward. Don't let it rock you back. I hope that helps in understanding. And the additional challenge of doing it one-handed is that you challenge the opposite side of your core and your back, right, to stabilize against the rotation. So you're creating better core stability, but that will require you to be able to stand in this position properly for training first. So building that foundational strength with a two-handed row and simply taking your time to build that up is how you're going to get there. And then at one point you get 220 kilos or 224 kilos out and you just start alternating 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you'll feel really strong because you're doing gorilla rows. I hope that helps. I hope that was a useful explanation, but let me know if you have any other questions. Okay? Happy to help and to answer. You're very welcome. And for the people who are watching, go ahead, hit like, subscribe. Let's get that like count up to 10 maybe this morning. And if you want to check out my channel and subscribe, maybe you can tip me over 1,300 subscribers this morning. And I appreciate all the support and everyone who's watching. We are going to move to one-armed swings. Okay? And we are moving to one-armed swings. The rain has stopped. So the one-armed swing is basically the same as the two-armed swing, picking up an 8-kilo weight because we are working one side of the body now. Let's start with the deadlift, one-armed, okay? Same principle applies. Move slowly, properly, get that hinge under control. And again, you are going to be planking at the top of that swing. So just keep that in mind as well. But try to get a feel for this motion where the weight is trying to pull you down and you are correcting, right, the rotation. I will show you head on what I mean. You are trying to correct for, in this motion, for this rotation. And that is why this is such a great set of exercises. It's because you are forcing yourself to keep your body well aligned. So just keep that in mind, all right? Because when we start swinging with the single arm kettlebell swing, the kettlebell is going to try and pull us out of whack, and we are going to continue working on that rotation inwards And it looks like this one. Plank at the top. Make sure we stay properly aligned. That was 10 one side, and we're going to switch to 10 on the other side. If you're not able to do the regular swing 10 times properly, don't attempt the single-handed swing. Continue with the single-handed deadlift, 10 repetitions, okay, until you get the hang of it, and until you feel your normal swings pain-free, proper, good technique. All right, you're 10 out of 10 on the hinge, on the plank, on the arch, on the weightlessness, and you're not pulling that weight. And then we'll talk about that one-armed swing. But it is something worth striving for. Because it simply works the full chain and the core in a slightly different manner. In a good way, but in a slightly different manner than the regular swing. So you get the benefit of both. 2 sets, 8 more to go. Taking it nice and easy on a Monday morning. For a Monday morning workout. And if you've subscribed, I appreciate that. I'll see it later in the statistics. And if you're here watching, wondering what's going on, my name is Toby. I'm 41 years old, and I train to live an active, self-sufficient, and adventurous life. You can't see it, but I'm currently in the mountains, going on day-long hike trips with the family, which is good fun in and of itself. And all of my training and consistency over the last years paying off big time in terms of how much fun we're having actually hiking through and up and down the mountains. Because being fit and healthy gives you options. So it's an investment that is paying off big time. Six more sets to go. All right. Who knows? There's something to be said about working out in the clouds, but there might also be something to be said about working out in the fresh air, in the mountains, right here. Hey, Mel B, thanks for dropping by. Hope you're doing well. Appreciate you dropping in and saying hi. I hope the workout is going well. I hope those kettlebells are still giving you the progress that you're looking for. And I think you've been very consistent for the last 6 months to a year, if I'm not mistaken. And I appreciate you dropping by and saying hi and checking in. And as you can see, I am in a cloud, heading into the mountains again later on today. So, and like I said, we're doing it all nice and easy this morning. 10 sets of 10. Nothing crazy, no heavy weights. Because I will need to hike up or cross a mountain for at least 2.5 hours today. So there's no point in burning all the energy. In one day, is there? Isn't that a thing? All right, 6 set down, 4 more to go. 2 on the right, 2 on the left. And the channel's been growing nicely, by the way. I appreciate that. I think we're having a good time figuring out health, fitness as we go through our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Simply taking good care of our body so that we get the benefits later on in life and probably over the next 10 years. The training modalities might change, right? We might find different ways to train. There's no rage against the machine here, so to speak. We do things that have effect. And if something works for us and we enjoy it, that's what we program. If something works for us but we don't enjoy it, we program it less or we don't program it at all. Okay? The reason I use kettlebells is because they are convenient. I pack them up in the car when we go on holidays. And I have them accessible at home. They don't take up too much space, and they give me quite a lot of versatility and options in terms of training that I would like to keep working with. Last sit. And when we have options, we can do variations, right? And I know in the beginning it's a lot of deadlifts, squats, rows, push-ups, and presses. But there's literally a cloud passing by. Maybe you can see it behind me. Maybe you can't. Wisps of mist. And that's what this is all about, giving ourselves options. 3 times 30 minutes a week of working out minimum, right? I do a bit more, but that's just me. I enjoy it. You know, some people, 3 times 15 minutes is all they get. But believe me, you learn how to do 3 times 10 minutes of swings throughout the week. Your fitness is going to improve over time. You turn that into 3 times 20 minutes. You're doing that in 3 times 20 minutes. You're going to start getting in shape. Okay. We're going to move on to some cleans. For the cleans, getting out the 12 kilo. Okay. We're going to work on that technique for a bit. That here is slow process, but that's okay. I think slow process is the only kind of process we need. You're having fun with family. I am, and I appreciate you and your ongoing support. Now, clean is basically a one-armed swing, but it ends here, drops down, ends here, drops down, ends here, drops down. There are a couple of things that you will need to master in order to swing and clean properly. That is the deadlift, the two-handed swing, the one-armed swing. Okay. Then the cleaning of the kettlebell, and I will show you in a moment outside of swings, is how it's supposed to land in this triangle here, and how you're going to try to make sure that you are able to do that proper starting position, and you receive it across diagonally down, drive the hand through. The reason to practice this with lighter weights is because receiving that kettlebell means that at its point of weightlessness, you need to stick the hand through and roll it in so it doesn't bang into your body. We don't want any of that banging, right? We want it to subtly roll into position and roll back out. Okay? You'll notice when it bangs, and that's why if you're just starting out, stick to the deadlifts, the two-handed and the one-handed swings, and then learn this later on. 5 times. So there's no use banging your arms up in training. Alright? There are wrist guards that you can buy as you're learning this. For this one particularly, seek out a good kettlebell trainer, certified kettlebell trainer, Kettlebell Sports, or RKC, whichever you prefer, and learn how to properly rack that kettlebell. Okay? It's going to open up a lot of doors for you beyond the standard weightlifting. But even if you don't manage to master it, mastering the standard weightlifting with kettlebell, one-arm things, and the standard swing, you're already going to have a lot of benefits from those. And you see, 5 times on the left, 5 times on the right. We're just taking it easy. This is quite a demanding exercise. And that swing clean is going to help us rack heavier and heavier weights for double clean press or double clean jerk. Looks similar, different exercise. The jerk, you get under the weight. The press, you press the weight up, right? And you get to practice all of those. You can practice those single-handedly. Or two-handed. All works slightly differently, but the same result. You'll get fitter and stronger over time. By the way, for those of you who are counting from my back injury with the 20 kilo, from dead cleaning it to back to cleaning at 12 kilo, right? Around 3.5, 4 months, okay? So give your body time to recover. When it's injured, don't get injured because it sets back your training schedule. But be mindful and be careful, because you can always get hurt with training. And you just want to avoid injuries that will disable you, okay? Now, and it's starting to rain again. Let's see how long this bliss lasts. Clean. And a good way to practice this also is to just bring up the weight and put it in that racked position. Hold it there comfortably for a while to get a feel for where you want it to land. Now, finally, we're going to add some presses into this. I'm going to start with a two-handed press to show you how that works. That's always a good starting point. And then we're going to pick up the 8 and do one-sided overhead press. And the sun's slowly breaking through. Isn't that wonderful? Morning is breaking. Okay, the clean. And again, you're not lifting from the back. The momentum of the swing brings the weight up, and at that moment of weightlessness, we spear the kettlebell so that the handle is diagonal across our palm and it lands there. All right? Doesn't jump, doesn't slam into us, doesn't do that with the snatch, shouldn't do that on the clean. Learn this, because otherwise kettlebell training becomes very unpleasant, very Spartan, and not conducive to long-term health. Hey, and there's 12 of you watching. If 12 of you would give me a thumbs up, I would appreciate it if you give me the like, because that would give me 10 likes. That would be cool this morning. But on top of that, if you would subscribe to my channel, you might tip me over the 1,300 subscribers. Now, if you've liked, subscribed, then maybe you want to watch a video on my channel for about 1 minute to help me get that watch time up to 3,000 minutes so I can unlock some more advanced YouTube features. Two-handed overhead press starts with a two-handed clean. Okay, relatively straightforward. Again, kettlebell position, deadlift position, using the force to bring it up and catching it here. Travels on. I make sure I activate my glutes. I make sure I activate my quads, pulling up my kneecaps, tucking the tailbone in, activating my core, lats, and pressing. And make sure with every motion you maintain that stability in your hamstrings, quads, glutes, because you're really putting down that foundation core And then your lats are working really hard. And if you're capable of doing that well, and you feel confident and you don't have any impediments for overhead work, range of motion, or any other reasons to work up there, you can take a lighter weight, always lightweight, and try to understand, even if you just start with 1 kilo, what that feeling is of racking a kettlebell, creating that stable base, and just and now the only thing we haven't done this morning is squats. But since I'm going to be hiking in a bit, and hiking basically is a combination of squats and lunges, I'm going to be quite forgiving of myself. In terms of giving my quads a rest. Besides, we have Wednesday and Friday still ahead of us. We'll have enough squats in the week when we do a few less swings. But I hope the swings tutorial, walkthrough, talk through were useful. Right. Swing it into racked position. Up. 2, 3, 4, 5. And the final one coming up. And then we're going to call it a day. I think it's already close to 6:30. It's been a fun morning. I appreciate you having dropped by to spend the time with me, to hit like, to subscribe, to leave a message in chat, and to be interested in being fit and healthy as we go through life, and what that actually means, and how simple and easy it actually can be. Properly racked, good position, press. And that's it. That's all I have for you this morning, friends. Thanks for dropping by, saying hi. Oh, that turned into a 45-minute workout. Wasn't that something? Well, I hope it was fun. I hope it was useful. I hope you enjoyed the instruction, the follow along maybe, and the conversation. Didn't talk a lot about what it takes to stay fit and healthy, but I think we talked enough about health and fitness in a good way. 6:33 a.m., time to start the day. Remember, you're good just the way you are. We've got to love ourselves before we can move on. This person we are today is going to get us to where we want to be tomorrow. It's a bit of kindness going to go a long way, all right? There are enough people out there who want to put us down. We lift ourselves up. We lift each other up in this community. And the only way to get anything done, friends, is by showing up and doing the work. So I'm going to turn off the camera. I'm going to get on with the day. And I will see you later. Or tomorrow. And remember, subscribe.